good morning.
Good morning.
Today we are going to start putting some panels up on the roof.
Oh man, we have been looking forward to this, but today is going to be super hot.
Yeah, so the next like 3 days or 4 days are going to be in the high 80s and then in the 90s. So we are out here bright and early. The sun just came up. And basically this is how it's going to be for those next like 4 days, is we're going to get up really early, get as much done as we can before the heat. So
Yep. The first thing we're going to do is start working these full panels that are here, and we need to put a hem on the bottom of them, so that's going to be our first step.
all right. All right, so as you guys saw, we put what's called backer rod up on the roof, and that's gonna go kind of in the center of every panel, and that just keeps it from oil canning, which is kind of like where it looks really rippled. Levi took a measurement. We've got our first panel on the sawhorses, and we're gonna make our first cuts and bends. It's the little...
All right, first panel's up, went really well. We have quite a lot of these panels to do, so we got to get going. Okay, so we got all the easy panels done, and now we're to the hard panels. And so we got to make our transition from this being square to the eave here to going up the valley. And so the way we're going to do that is we're going to measure over from the edge of this panel where the panel clips over to where this cleat is, and then where it starts to go up the valley. So that's 5.5 inches. And then what I did is I just took my framing square and I butted it against the panel on this side, and I went down until this framing square hit the edge of the cleat that goes up the valley, and I put a mark there. And then I measured up, and that is 10 3/4. So I know I can measure up 10 3/4 on the panel, put a mark, and I can measure over 5 1/2. And if I connect those dots, theoretically, it should work for this valley. So let's jump down and mark that up on a sheet and bring it up and see how it fits.
Okay, how do you want to do it? Yeah. So how do I?
So you're gonna have to go past.
Yeah.
Okay. You just have to slide it up, so just make sure that piece of felt paper is like not hasn't slid down.
Yep.
Okay.
Back down.
So you'll just have to push down and I'll pull it up.
Okay. Yeah, it's not right.
Wow.
All right, guys. So our angle didn't quite work out right. So it's really beautiful here. It's exactly where it needs to be, but then it grows how much? About 3/4 of an inch?
Yeah, and I don't even know how
So
I could do that.
we're gonna have to take the panel back down. I mean, unless you want to just do it here. Do you think it'd be too hard?
Probably. But
Okay.
I'd like to figure out, because we need to know how to get that top measurement
Yeah.
for the next one. So I'd really like to be able to figure out how we can do that.
Yeah.
So
And like, obviously all of this needs to
come
I mean,
on.
yeah, like even this would be cut at an angle too, right?
Yep. All right, so we figured out what happened. When I went to transfer all these marks on the bottom here, I moved this mark up an inch for the fold, but I forgot to do it for this top one. And that explains why it's about, 3/4 of an inch off too low. So thank God it was actually too big and not too small. So no problem, we'll rebend it, recut it, rebend it, and bring it back up there. All right, attempt number 2.
try again. Okay, that looks better, but it's not.
All right, let's hope the third time is the charm, right?
All right, go for it. Boy, that was a lot nicer. Should be okay. All right, you want me to lock her in?
Lock it in.
You want me to go more?
I just want you to put a hand on it.
Yep.
Up all the way.
Yep. Perfect. Okay. So, we decided that it is now too hot to keep working up there, so we're gonna transition. We were gonna head inside, but then Levi had a great idea of let's get our full panels and we can go ahead and get those bent. So we're like one step ahead when we get away from the valleys.
Yeah, the hard part. Yeah, so, we figured out that we need about 22 panels. So I think we might bend like 18, 19 panels, because when we go to the other side of the roof, we actually have to bend the other side of the panel. So we don't want to bend too many, and we'll just set them here in the house, and that way tomorrow, if we can get past the valley, we'll be able to just pull panels up that are already pre-bent for us and just throw them up. So
yeah, I think we got 6 panels up total.
Yeah. Big learning curve. We knew it was going to be a little bit of a learning curve, and then to try to get into that valley it took us 4 tries. Luckily, we didn't ruin the piece, so that was nice.
And we didn't scratch the valley or anything. Like it really looks so good. I'm glad that we took the time to take it down, rebend, make sure it looks really nice. And we were having problems like with Levi trying to step on the part where it's supposed to snap. Yeah, so we did get it.
The last panel we were able to do it.
Yeah, so I don't know if it's just like it got warmer and so now.
That's true.
I have no idea.
Warmed it up and it was able to just bend in there and go. Who knows?
Yeah.
I don't know. But so I think we're gonna set them up. We're in the dog trot, so we're in the shade. It's like 15, 20 degrees cooler in the dog trot than it is outside. So I think we'll just move over here and just start bending panels.
Yeah. Well, it's another early morning for us. As you can see behind me, the sun is just about to come up over the mountains. Levi was just double checking our angle for that next valley piece. We already have the next panel on sawhorses, and we're just gonna get going. Like we mentioned yesterday, it is gonna be hot today, so we're gonna try and get as much done before the heat of the day.
We got it measured. That's the long point, and then I added 1 inch because we don't want to make this mistake like we did yesterday.
So here's our first full bend.
Full valley bend. Whew, that was not easy.
Let's see how it looks. Hopefully this goes a little bit better than the first valley, which was 4 tries. But one thing, if you have some scrap pieces, is just do a test piece. We've done that several times, and it is so helpful because then you're not like cutting into your, so here's
our first test piece that we cut for the angle, but what we were worried about is this end. So here it is square, and then we decided to go with it on an angle.
probably be a little difficult to see that on camera, but
it just kind of follows the angle of the valley instead of having it come back like that. I think that looks a lot nicer.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of hard because how do you make square cuts look, really clean, and you have, it's just, it is what it is. Yeah. Slight change of plans.
Yeah, we figured out we have an 18-inch folder to fold that hem over, and it actually, because the cut for the valley is 20 inches, the little just 2 inches that's sticking out, it actually started pulling our folding tool apart.
Yeah.
So we're afraid we're gonna break it. So what we're gonna do is go up, and they make a 24-inch one. So I think it's just smart for us to go get the 24-inch one. It'll make the fold easier, but more importantly, it's not gonna break our tool, and then we're really gonna be in trouble.
Right, and unfortunately, no places locally have it, so we have to drive over an hour to go and get it. It's already 81 degrees, and it is 9 o'clock in the morning, so we're gonna just kind of, I guess, enjoy kind of a day off. If we get back and we feel like we can get out here and do some stuff, we will. This is just how it's going.
It's
so
unfortunate, but hey, we might as well go get a bite to eat while we're out.
Yeah.
We got it.
All right, guys, so as you saw, we went and got that bender yesterday. It was just entirely too warm to even get to work later in the day. I think it was all the way into the 80s still by the time we went to bed, and we went to bed at like 8 o'clock. So sun is just coming up. We have our first piece here, and we're hoping today goes really well. We just so badly want to get this roof done. Gotta come back down. Okay, now try. Okay, try. All right, we got it on. I didn't have the camera on. I had turned it off because we were trying to figure stuff out, and then I forgot to turn it back on, but we got it on. Levi's snapped it into place, and we're gonna put the screws in. It's looking nice. It is definitely a lot trickier than I was expecting.
Yeah, I really think it is. But each time we go up the valley, it gets a little bit better. Smaller pieces.
Yes. Burritos. And of course tomatoes, because we have to eat tomatoes about 15 times a day. So this is a new tomato to us. It's called Rose de Bern, and we always put salt and pepper on them.
It's good.
It's good. Mm-hmm. All right, you pick whichever one, or whichever two you want. Mr. Man's like, where's my breakfast?
Oh. So good. Eggs, potatoes from the garden, sausage,
Onions.
onions,
Jalapeno.
jalapeno from the garden.
Yeah. Felt paper is hot inside. All right. Wow, that one went in nice and easy. We needed that.
All right, let's check and see how we're working here.
Wow. Looks good.
This is the only problem that we're seeming to have is when you fold it with that thing.
It kind of tears.
It tears a little bit. You kind of get to hide it. So what we do is kind of just use that manual bender, and Tanya can come over here and kind of squeeze it and kind of line it up again. But we're running perfectly straight with our jig here, so I'm pretty happy.
what you got there?
Upgrade. Jig number 2.
Full size.
Full size. So I cut the other one, just a piece of scrap we had, which is like 12 inches. And these panels are 15 inches in between. So we had to like slide it over. And I'm just like, why? It just gives you potential to get it off a little bit. So I just ripped a new piece of plywood real quick on the table saw. So now it's going to be super nice to just line this up. One little quick pencil line.
That's a lot nicer and a lot faster.
Yeah.
So the last one,
Oh.
we didn't show it. We didn't show it, and of course it was like...
That's why it went perfect, because we didn't have the pressure for the camera on us.
It turned out absolutely
The best one we've done.
so gorgeous. Everything lined up. The fold was perfect. And we actually have found a new like system with folding it with that hand like folding tool. So we'll show you that. But this right here is the last valley piece before we get to the peak.
Oh, that's going to be a fun piece. Having to go up this side of the valley and down the next side of the valley in one single piece.
Right. We were hoping it was gonna break like perfectly centered.
We could have planned on it breaking in the center.
We could have, but yeah, we just figured we'd start with a full piece at the beginning and just whatever we end up with is what we end up with. But
we did check to make sure it wasn't going to be like a little teeny tiny piece.
Right.
We knew it would be around the middle of a sheet. And when we started the valley, it was in the middle of the sheet kind of too. So it kind of worked out nice for us. And I think it'll be okay. It's just
I
gonna be
think
a
so
challenge.
too. So Levi's gonna get this all cut and then we'll show you how we fold it now. You want another green bean? Huh? You want a green bean? Okay. Hold on, hold on. Good. You want another one? Oh, good boy. All right. So one more. So this is what I was talking about. So now we do this fold together. And it's like absolutely perfect. I'm pretty sure that's why the last one turned out so well.
Probably, yeah.
Okay, hold on. Okay. Oh, so nice. Just looks so great. Great job.
Nice. Okay, and the way we nail these, or screw these I should say, is we put one at the top to prevent it from going down. And then the very top, we put a couple of screws in. And a lot of people don't do that, and the reason why is we have to do that is because the way our cap, our ridge cap is installed, we don't have Z-bar or any type of bracket that it attaches to. Our ridge cap actually attaches to the panels, the rib in the panel. We get riveted, we rivet those. And so we have to fasten the top of this somehow. So we're just putting 2 screws in the top, and then we'll come back when we do our ridge cap, and then we'll be able to just rivet it right to that. So the screw pattern of this is about every foot to 2 feet. And the way they told me to do it was every 5th hole, but now we're kind of limited now, so I'm kind of just spacing it. We have 1 screw at the top on this nailing flange. We'll probably put 1 screw here in the middle, and you don't want to make them super tight, you just want them to be snug. And then I'm going to take this screw out that I used to lock the panel in while I snapped it, because I didn't want it to fall down. And then I'm just going to go ahead and move that right to the middle. That's it. All right, so now we're going to measure our peak here. It looks like where these 2 cleats come together for the valley is 10.5. So we'll just transfer that to the top of the panel, and then we'll just use our jig and go ahead and just make a V out of the bottom of that panel, and then we should be able to bend it and put it up here. Okay, so we have our piece that's designated for the top of the valley, the peak there, and we measured the center of those 2 valleys, and they were 10.5. So I'm going to go ahead and just mark 10.5 here on our jig. I'm just hooking on this panel, marking 10.5, and then we're going to go ahead and just scribe this 10.5 part. Okay, then we still need our 1-inch fold, so I'm going to go ahead and mark 1 inch for our fold, and I'll slide this down and do the same thing just to our 10.5 mark. Okay, and then we check the angle up there for the next side. It's the exact same thing as this. So all we're going to do is flip this over, and then we're going to get our 10.5 mark here. So it looks like it's about on that little bump right there. So there's our 10.5. So we need to bring that up here. There's all right, same thing. We got to add 1 inch for our fold. All right, so it's marked out, and what we did was we didn't cut. So we had these pieces cut. The roofing company came out here, and me and another guy got on the roof, and we kind of planned out where our sheets were going to be, popped some lines, and we took some preliminary measurements so that he could cut all of our sheets for us. So these are cut about 10 inches longer than they need to be. So we figure that with this being long already, we're going to go ahead and put our cut and fold at the bottom, take it up there, test fit it, make sure it's going to be good. If it's good, then we'll just cut some off the top. It'd be perfect. We don't have to mess with this. If it's not good, then we still have 2 more tries before we run out of material, and then we'll be able to definitely fix the valley, make sure that it fits perfect, and then move on down the valley.
So another thing that's a little bit trickier too is now we have to like retrain ourselves on how to cut this angle, because now the valley is going the opposite direction. So just when we started to get really good at what we were doing, it's gonna be a learning curve again. A little bit more. That looks good.
All right, take it up. All right. Okay. Whew. Man, this one looks perfect. But this side.
Sorry guys, the shadow.
This side's a little bit off.
Just a little bit. Yeah, this side looks great.
This
I
side,
mean, it's so close.
yeah.
So close.
But since we have the opportunity, we can go ahead and fix this. We should do it. We don't want to start off on a bad foot way up here. We have 10 more panels to get down to the bottom of the next valley. I think we can fix this. We have that much of play to cut off, so we can totally do this again. So I'm just gonna get like a little, it's like about an 1/8 or so here, and then I can kind of see where this cleat is. So we'll go downstairs, and I keep saying downstairs, we'll go down to the ground and see if we can fix that. All right, we fixed that one angle. It looks beautiful. I think we're pretty confident that we can go ahead and cut this now. So we're just gonna go ahead and take our measurement, 46 inches. And then I'm just gonna cut this off square. We'll bring it up there.
You ready? There we go. Oh, that looks so good. It looks amazing.
Nice.
All right, we made it to the peak, and that was our goal. It was a little bit tricky, but we finally got the hang of it, and we're really happy with how everything has turned out. That'll do it for this one. We'll see you guys in the next one.